Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be learning about inequalities in two triangles, which is for chapter 5, lesson 6. So from the lesson name itself, you can see that we are going to we are going to compare two triangles, and we are going to learn some theorems. To start with, of course, we have to learn two theorems here. And the first theorem is called the Hinge Theorem. Now, what does the Hinge Theorem say? It says that if two sides of one triangle is congruent, that's equal to two sides of another triangle, and included angles are not congruent, then the longer third side is across from the larger included angle. In simple words, if you have two triangles and two sides of the triangles are equal to each other, and the third side and the included angles are not equal, then we can see which triangle's third side is longer. For example, I'll just explain from this itself. See, they have marked here, this side is congruent to DE. AB is congruent to DE and AC is congruent to DF. So for example, if AB was 5, DE is also going to be 5, right? AC is 7, then DEF is also going to be 7. Now we don't know about the third side. So to find the third side, now it cannot be equilateral triangle because all the three sides are not equal. So this is where we use the Hinge theorem, where it says if the included angle, you know what's the included angle? When we talk about the two sides, the angle which makes up the two sides is the included angle. So if the included angles are there and they are not congruent, it means if they are not equal, then we can find out which is the third side, which triangle's third side is greater or lesser. Say now, for example, if we say angle A is 40 degrees and angle D is 35 degrees. Now, all of us by now we know that the corresponding side is for the angle. So if this angle we are talking about, the corresponding side is going to be this. So here we have 40, here we have 30, which means BC is greater than EF. So this is what the Hinge theorem says, and we use the Hinge theorem when two sides and an included angle is given. Again, let me quickly repeat it for you. Hinge theorem is when you have two sides of two triangles equal and the included angles are not equal. We use those angles to find out which side of the remaining triangle side is greater or lesser. So already I explained with numbers. If angle A is greater than angle D, then BC becomes greater than EF. This is the Hinge theorem. Now, what is the converse of the Hinge theorem says? Now, completely put it the other side around. Here they said if two sides and the included angle. Now here what are they saying? If two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle and the third sides are not congruent, then the larger included angle is across from the longer third side. Here they gave us two sides and an angle, and they said we can measure the third side from the included angle. Here what they are saying, here they have given us all the three sides, right? So here they have given HJ is equal to LM, GJ is equal to KM, and they said this is not equal to this. So say for example, this could be a 4 and this could be a 3. So if you have this, so the greatest length, that's the greater length represents the greater angle, which means angle J is greater than angle M. It's easy. That's not at all too difficult theorems like some. So here, quickly, let's revise this again so that the lesson becomes easier. Hinge theorem says if two sides are equal to two sides of another triangle and the included angles are not congruent, so from the included angle, we can compare the third side of the triangle. Whichever the included angle is greater, that triangle's third side becomes the greater one. But here, it's the other side around. If the two sides are equal and the third side is not congruent, then we use the third side to measure, to compare the angle. So if the third side, whichever triangle's third side is greater, that angle, this angle opposite to that side becomes the greater angle. It will be more clear once we start solving some questions. So let's try to solve this. What did they say? They said compare the given measures. Okay, so here they have given us KL and ML. So first write down all the information given so that it will be easy for you to compare. So let's write it as KL equals ML because both of them are 2, 2. Then KJ is also equal to MN because both of them are 5.5, 5.5. And then L, now they have asked us to compare angle K and angle M, which means we need to find this one, right? Now, when you look at the diagram, you can see that this length, that's the length of this part here. Let me draw it with another color so that will be clear for you. This part here is longer, right? So what do you think? How can we compare angle K with angle M now? We know that the corresponding sides of these are the ones which say which is equal, greater or which is lesser. So this triangle stops from here, right? So which means angle K, this side is corresponding to angle K, and this longer one is corresponding to angle M. So we could say, let me write that here. So LN is greater than LJ, isn't it? Because this is LN, which is longer than LJ. So LJ is shorter. So which is the angle corresponding to LJ? That's K. And which is the angle corresponding to LN? That's M. So from this, we can say that angle K is less than angle M. So this is how you do it. First read the diagram very carefully and see which side is longer, so that angle becomes greater. Let's try this question, A, B and DE. First write down all the information given. It becomes easier then. So AB, we have to compare AB with DE, all right. So we could say BC is equal to EF, right? Because both of them are 12. Then we can say AC is equal to DF because both of them are 10. So AC equals DF. And then how about these angles? This angle is 95, that's angle F is 95 and angle C is 85. So which angle is greater? Of course, angle F is greater than angle C. So which means the corresponding side for angle F is DE, right? So DE is of course going to be greater. Which side is corresponding to angle C? It's AB. So A greater than AB. So you're done comparing the two sides. DE is going to be greater than AB. Or you can even say AB is less than DE. Both means the same, right? Only that we are changing the side. Changing the place of the lines, that's all. So AB is less than DE or DE is greater than AB. So let's try this out. QR and ST. So we have to compare this with this one. So write down the information which is given. They have given QT is equal to RSR or RS. And what else is given? Now we can say that RT is equal to RT, right? Because both of them have the same measure. That's not unlike the first diagram where one was longer and the other was shorter. So RT is equal to RT. And then that leaves us with angle T and angle R. So angle T is 43. So let's write that down. Angle T is greater than angle R. That means which side is corresponding to angle T? QR. So QR is greater than ST. This is how you compare the given measures of two triangles. Wasn't that easy? But a bit of practice will make you perfect. Right. Let's go to the next part of the lesson where you have to find the range of values for x. So they have given you x here, and then you have to find the range. So which means we are going to write an inequality. All right, so to make it more easy for you, let me just name these triangles, because I could refer according to the letters, else you will be wondering which part is she talking about. So let me name these triangles in this way: A, B, C, and D, E, F. Okay, so the information given for us is A, C, and D, E. Now from the information given, A, C is less than D, E, right? And also the angles are given. So angle F is 153 degrees and angle B is 3x minus 21. Now which one do you think is smaller? We already said AC is less than DE. So DE is 54, which means that is corresponding to angle F. So AC is corresponding to angle B. So we can say angle B is less than angle F. Now we write one of the inequalities. So what's the measure of angle B? Angle B is 3x minus 21 is less than the angle F, which is 153 degrees. You just solve how you would normally solve an algebraic inequality. 153 plus 21. So 3x is less than 174. X is equal to, x is less than 174 divided by 3. That would give you 58. So one of the values for x we got is x is less than 58. Now of course when we write an inequality we need two numbers, means two values. That's how we write an inequality. If you remember, always an inequality will be in this form. So here will be a number and here will be a number. Now already we got a number for this place, but we need a number for this place. Now what do? We do know that, because we are talking about the angles now. So every angle has to be greater than 0 degrees, right? So we can write another inequality saying that 3x minus 21 is of course greater than 0 degrees. So we are going to say 3x minus 21 is greater than 0 degrees. As we are talking about an angle measure, so all the angles need to be greater than 0 degrees. There is no angle for 0 degrees or less than 0. So we write this inequality in this way. So 3x minus 21 degrees is greater than 0 degrees, which means you will just follow the same method. That's 0 plus 21. X is greater than 21 over 3. So x is greater than 7. So here you write 7, because if you would flip this inequality, that would become 7 is less than x, or x is greater than 7. So the inequality you have is 7 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 58. This is how you get an inequality for the values of x. Let's try out this question. Now, again, let me name the triangle. Do not hesitate to name the triangle however you want to. That will only make the work easy for you. So this is how I have named the triangle ABD, BCD. Right. The information given here, AB is of course greater than BC, because AB is 11 and BC is 12. So what does that indicate? That indicates that 11, so if this is 11, the angle corresponding to that is this one, which means 3x minus 5 degrees is, why did I write AB is greater than BC? AB is less than BC, because AB is 11 and BC is 12. So this is going to be less than x plus 12, because this is the one corresponding to BC side, right? This angle, which is the greater one. So this is x plus 12 degrees. As simple, you have to just solve this inequality. Keep all the x's on one side and move all the numbers to the other side. So that would become something like this. So the next part of the list, the solving is going to be 2x, 3x minus 1x is 2x, is less than 17. X is less than 17 over 2. Now it's perfectly all right for you to leave the answer in this form. Else, if you want to change it to a decimal or write it in an improper fraction, that's perfect as well. So I would like to leave it like this because we are not going to solve anything. We're just writing an inequality. So let it be like that. Now this is one part of the inequality because, as I already told you, inequality should be in this form. So we already found this number, which should be 17 over 2. Now we have to find the other one. What did I just explain? We are talking about angles and even the sides. Even if you're comparing two sides, of course, it has to be something greater than 0, right? So we can take any one of these, not necessarily which one. We can take any one, and then we could say 3x minus 5 is greater than 0, which means 3x is greater than 5 because 0 plus 5 is 5. X is going to be greater than 5 over 3, which means 5 over 3 is less than x. So this is how you do it. Even you can take x plus 12 and do it. It won't give any difference, but this is how you solve it, because already we got the answer for 17 over 2, and then to get the other part, you're going to compare it with a 0. That's all you need to do to solve for the values of x. All right, so but let's check what happens if you take x plus 12. All right, so in case if you would take x plus 12 and compare that with a 0, eventually you will end up with a negative number, which is a negative 12. Now we already know that we cannot have numbers which are less than 0 because that won't be applicable, I think so. So we do not choose this, rather we choose this, and then we will complete the inequality. Let's move on to the next question. So this is, again, they have given us two angles and two sides. Now, depending on the angle, they have already given this angle is 118 and this angle is 111, which means, of course, this side is greater than this side because 118 is greater than 111 degrees. So 37.5 is going to be greater than 3x plus 6. Just solve it. 37.5 minus 6 is going to be greater than 3x. This would give you a 31.5 greater than 3x. So 31.5 divided by 3 is greater than 3 as greater than x. This would give you 10.5 is greater than x. So we got already one of the inequalities which will have a value of 10.5. So to find the other inequality, you're of course going to compare the side with a 0, right? So here we have got 3x plus 6, which means you're going to compare 3x plus 6 should be greater than 0, which means 3x is going to be greater than a negative 6. X is going to be greater than negative 2 because negative 6 divided by 3 would give you a negative 2. Now here, why can we consider negative 2? Because we are talking about the length, right? So which means x has to be any number which is greater than negative 2. So it could be any positive number. We can take any positive number for representing the value of x. So to write the inequality, you will start with negative 2 less than x less than 10.5. Because we cannot take the inequality to be 37.5 is going to be greater than 0. That would eventually give you like nothing. So we cannot take this side. We have to take only this side and then compare that with a 0. Let's do this question now. Again, two angles are given and then the sides are given. And they said these sides are congruent to each other. From the angles, we can find out which side is greater and which side is lesser. So this side is greater, this side is, it represents 60 and this side represents 70, which means of course 3x minus 3 is less than 4x minus 7. That's because this is 70 degrees and this is 60. 60 is of course less than 70. Now just solve it. 3x minus 4x is less than negative 7 plus 3. This is negative x is less than negative 4. Then could cancel them. This is going to be x is less than 4. Now, for the next one, of course, you're going to compare that with a 0. So let's write this as 3x minus 3 is greater than 0, which means 3x is going to be greater than a positive 3, because when the negative 3 goes to the other side, it becomes plus 3. 0 plus 3 is going to give you a 3. And then x is going to be greater than 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now to write the inequality, we have 1 less than x, which is less than 4. So this is the inequality, the range for the values of x. So that's all. This is how you compare two inequalities in a triangle. Hope you have understood this. So till we meet again in another video, keep practicing.